There are so many fun and interesting sensory finds out there, so I wanted to show you a few of my favorite that have stood the test of time from the beginning. Hey you guys, it's Christina from the Purple Alphabet, and in this video, I'm gonna cover some of our favorite sensory items and tools that we have used throughout the years. We just go back to all the time and absolutely love. So I'm gonna recap those and give you some ideas and inspirations that you might wanna try out in your house. So let's talk about sensory bins first, and then I'm going to go into fidgets and some other things after that. To start off, I want to bring up fillers. These are usually the bases that go inside sensory bins. I'm going to work through some of our favorite ones that we have and maybe put a list on the screen or something so you can keep note. This first one is a super cheap one, and it's from Dollar Tree. These are actually in the floral section. I've got a whole bag full of different colors, lots of different ones. You can use them seasonally. You can mix them together. Sometimes I do that too. They are like a coiled tubing, I guess is the best way to describe it. The texture is rough, but also squishy, and it's very light and fluffy. So when you put into sensory bin, my dirty sensory bin, because this is the bin I use for these, it's a very, very fluffy, light texture. For some textures can be a little bit more threatening to sensory sensitive individuals, and some individuals are sensory driven, meaning they need really, really nice textures. They thrive on it. They want to feel it. Depending on who's the user of this would depend on the kind of choice you would put into a bin. This one I feel is kind of non-threatening. It is scratchy, but it's not wet and sticky, so it's not going to stay on their hands. And a little bit goes a long way. Like I can fill up an entire bin with one package of it, and it comes in like a really long tube, so I just ended up cutting it. And it lasts. Like we've had this, I mean, for years and years and years, and it's easy to store. There are a lot of sensory bin fillers that are on the market, so that are sold to you as sensory bin fillers. So one of those that is meant for sensory bins would have to be the Play Foam Pluffle. This is so much fun. It is more on the pricier side for a container. They also sell them in half containers too. I'll put links to things as well in the description box if you want it, or maybe I'll try to put some on screen if it's available. But Pluffle is a really good sensory bin filler because it doesn't dry out, doesn't stick to your hands, and it's really mesmerizing to watch this. The colors are super bright and vibrant. You can mix it together. If you do mix it, they're going to be mixed forever. So just know that. You're not going to want to mix it if you want to keep the colors separate. But it's such a great texture. It's light, fluffy, you can squeeze it, you can mash it together. It looks like it's moving. Like when you play with it, it looks like it has a life of its own. So because of that, it makes it really, really fun to play with and to work with, and the kids love it. It stores nicely, and they package it well in these little tubes, so it's really pretty and fun to look at. And we've been using Pluffle for years and years and years, and even my kids who don't play with sensory bins anymore because they are tweens and teenager, they still just are, they like it. It's just mesmerizing. So definitely check that out. There's also a Play Foam that they have too, which isn't as great of a sensory bin filler because it's pliable. It's kind of like you can make shapes out of it. So stick with Pluffle for the sensory bin. You can use the Play Foam for, sensory activities, but definitely for sensory bins, Pluffle is a fabulous base. Then I want to mention things that are more common household items. I don't have these in bins yet because I'm not using them, but one that I really love to use is corn. So this is pre-popped corn. You can find this at the dollar store or even at Walmart, super cheap too. You can, oh, it's open. You can dye it if you want to have different colors. I like the natural. I just think it's a really pretty texture and it's really fun, but you can certainly dye it and all sorts of different colors with some food coloring. Also, you can dye rice, which is in this. I use this one for a sensory bag. It's a clear plastic bag, and inside I hide objects like mini erasers inside of there, and I have a picture of what to find. You can also dye it. I have a video where I showed you how to dye it. It's a super old video, really old, like vintage Purple Alphabet. Put it up in the corner and you can go check it out if you want a little tutorial on how to dye rice. And the same works for the corn too. They will last. I had a bin of colored rice that we used for like 7 years. And then also I want to add on to this list of sensory bin bases for sensory play. It would have to be water. Really easy, great for summertime, and it's a lot of fun. And you can even do that in bathtubs. Inside sensory bins, you can get little manipulatives to put in them. These aren't necessarily fidgets, but I wanted to mention mention these because they are favorites and they've always been great for sensory bends. These are Safari LTD tubes. Usually you can find them online. Also Michael's, Hobby Lobby I think has them too. And each one has a different theme, and the figurines inside of here are perfect to put inside the sensory bin with that filler to look for, like hide them in the rice and hide them in the corn. I also have a container here where I've gone above and beyond and labeled each one. So these are my farm ones, and then I have a little card in here that I printed from their website, so I know which animals go inside of here. These are great because they are lifelike, really not cartoony. They do have some cartoon ones though. They're not cartoony, so they have a real representation of the animals. There's a sheep, there's a horse, and so they are a great fidget sensory thing to use with all of those materials when you make a sensory bin. So not necessarily sensory item, but just something that I think is really, really important because you can hold them, touch them, look at them, and see some real life examples, not real life examples, lifelike examples of everything. Here's the river one, snakes and all kinds of things, beavers. Definitely check these out. I'll put a link to some of my favorites too for these. Next, I wanted to kind of talk about the tools. These are mostly used with sensory bins. They're kind of like a form of a fidget, I would guess. And I have a couple different categories here that I have used over the years over and over and over again. The first is this set, and I've recommended this on my channel over and over and over again because it has such great value. They all come together, this whole entire set. Each one has a little different purpose to the tool. This one right here is just your standard tweezers. So, and these are also really great for fine motor too. And they're the perfect size tweezers. I love this set so much that I had to buy 2 of them. So I have 2 of these sets. This one works like scissors. So you open it this and it comes out. You can put water in here. You can pour out the water. You can scoop up sand. This one opens too, but it's opposite. So you push and it opens versus this like scissors and it opens. And this one has a bulb syringe with a really cute twisty tube where you can pick up water and squirt it out. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Love this and recommend it every single time I do a sensory video. Then we have these tools here. Like I think I got this one at Walmart. It's just a set of measuring cups and really fun colors. Great for scooping and pouring. This one came all bound together so you can use them one by one individually, put a couple in, and then it's really good for scooping and pouring anything in a sensory bin. This is a collapsible funnel, also from Walmart, I think. Super affordable. I got the collapsible because it's just easier to store. These 2 alone, like if you don't get this set, but these 2 alone, scoops and funnels are going to take a child really far. They're going to be loving this and playing with that for hours in a sand bin and a sensory bin, in a rice bin. Very affordable items, and you might already have these, so just wash them up and add them in. Then we have these, which are a little bit more fancier, I guess you could say. It's a set of tweezers. So these are more like your appetizer tweezers, but they're a great size for little hands of working those fine motor muscles, picking things up out of the sensory bin, picking up that little animal. I have those in 2 different sizes. This I think is like a strawberry huller. I think that's what it's called. Once again, pincer grasp, working those little fine motor muscles, and then a pickler, which works like a syringe. So when you push the syringe down, on the other side out comes these little graspers, these little grabby things, so you can pick up small items like a pom-pom, you know, small light items. But that is another great fine motor thing. So all of these are normal kitchen items, and if I can find variations of these will definitely all be linked. I saw this one online recently. Sometimes you can find them in stores, but these are all excellent options, the ones to go to that you will pull out year after year and will last you. Let's go on to fidgets. You may or may not use these with a sensory bin. The first are bubble poppers, but I like to take it an extra mile. These are learning bubble poppers, and they come in numbers. You can also find them in alphabet too. I like them because they have the learning aspect, so you could use it for popping, or you can use it for learning as well and in activities. I think I did a video with these a long time ago about activities to do with things like this. So there's these, which are super affordable. I've got the purple, of course. They also make them in fun learning things like this one from Junior Learning. This is an ABC one where the vowels are in red and the consonants are in blue, and you can pop out the alphabet. And on the back is lowercase. So that's a really fun option to have. They also make them in CVC word. Your skills get more complex. So this one is leg. You can pop up that and use these for learning. They're also a really great size to use in your hand as a standalone as well without learning. Loving the bubble board still. And I like that you can combine it with some learning aspects too. So definitely like those for fidgets, and they've stood the test of time. These are still a favorite. Even now, they are your more auditory Fidgets, and they come in so many sizes, so many colors. This was a big pack. I think like came with 6 or so. You can put them together, you can build with them. It is very loud to use, but that's part of the reason why I think sensory seekers love these, because they love hearing that sound. Another one that just came to me from TikTok shop and was sent to me for review is these touch calm stones. They're like worry stones, I guess you could say. I'm going to find some on Amazon that are very similar, but this one came with 15 different ones and all sorts of different shapes and really pretty colors, different sizes, and each side has a different texture. And so what I like about this is that this one's really good for adults too and kids, but I like that it's small enough that fits in your hand and it's very discreet. So you can carry one of these in your purse, in your wallet, in your pocket, and nobody will know. So I love all the different textures. We got bumpy, we got like lines here, scales, and all kinds of fun things to explore. These would be great to put into a sensory bin too, to kind of explore and find, or also just great standalone. I think the smooth one might be my favorite, or even this red smooth one too. Still a favorite to this day would have to be the Tangles. I love this one. This is a smaller one. They come in different sizes, different colors, different themes. We used to have these when I worked in corporate in the office, and people would just hold them while they had meetings, and it really helped keep that focus. You could use it with one hand, you could use it with two, you could put it around and wear it and take it with you, and they just bend and move in really smooth ways. And this is a fidget that we have enjoyed time and time and time again. It also travels really well. Like this one a lot. This is kind of a new one, but I'm going to put it on my tried and true list because it's really fun. This is more of one that you would sit down in front of the TV with or whatever, and it's got all these little grooves in here and these little tubes, and you just fit them within here. It's more for mindfulness, right? Like just kind of mindfulness, thinking, paying attention, focus, and you can fit them in these little grooves in all kinds of different configurations and ways. This also comes in so many different shapes and colors and sizes, but it's definitely become a quick favorite. A little bit more of an expensive one would have to be this Sashibo. We talked about this in the Purple Alphabet Holiday Gift Guide. It comes in a cube, and I don't know if I can put it back in a cube. My kids would probably be able to. It's like a shape-shifting block. You can configure it in so many different ways. It comes in a lot of different patterns and colors, and you can make all kinds of different shapes. Like there's a lot of different shapes you can make in here. Will I be able to put it back into a cube? Probably not. These can also be combined with others, and so you can have more than one, and you can make more shapes building on top of one another. We have had these in cheaper forms because they do make them, but I would highly recommend the more expensive brand because the quality is really, really nice. The imagery is really, really nice as well. And if you are going to invest in one of these, I would highly recommend getting the multi-pack because you're going to want to get the multi-pack to build all together. And now I got to figure out how to put that back in a block before I put it away. Magnetab is also known for the magnet boards where you trace letters and you trace numbers and learning how to write with your pre-writing skills. Love it for that, but they also have these little keychains. And this is one that we like a lot. It's a little lightning bolt shape, has a little spot for a keychain holder there. And then we have the pen, the magnetic pen on the back. So this is just a tracing, and all those little magnet beads pop up. And then you push them down. Great travel item, take and go with you. It's fun because you have a task to do. A little bit more involved than like the calming stones, but it's really kind of a fun little gadget. And I like that it all stores right on there, and you can put it on a backpack or something or on your purse. I'm pretty sure they still make these, so if I can't find it, I'll put a similar one for this because that's a lot of fun. But speaking of keychains, we have this guy here, which is new to us too, and it's a little keyboard clacker. So if you're one that likes that auditory sound of the keyboarding and all that fun things, then this would be a good option for you. They make these in so many different styles. This one happens to be a turtle, and let me get my microphone on it so you can hear how it sounds. So that whole clickety clackety sound. Another really good option that has been a favorite. I also want to mention a few that we have used over the years that are more household items. This textured cushion was definitely a favorite, especially in the preschool age and the younger years when my daughter was trying to focus on just eating a meal. She would have this on her chair, or while she was doing some little learning activity or some preschool activities too. So we use this quite frequently on a daily basis. We also used a trampoline. So this is a great thing to help get out some of the extra energy before focusing on a smaller activity. But this is something that we've had for about about 13 years now. A wobble stool has been something that we've been using more recently. Very similar to the cushion, but also really great to use at a desk. So these come in different variations, and we've used one and we loved it. And then I want to mention the weighted blankets, and more importantly, the weighted stuffed animals, which is a new find. We recently tried the one from Hugs, and it feels like it is giving you the weight of a hug, and they're just a fun stuffy that are weighted, and they're really good at calming anxiety. If you have a favorite sensory tool or item, definitely let me know too. I'd love to hear what you would suggest. There's lots of new things that are coming out all the time. Let me know in the comments. Make sure to click subscribe to see more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up to show your love.